Hey everyone, it's Caitlin and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to share 3 recipes that are great for a vegan high protein meal prep. This video is perfect for anyone who's looking to add some more protein into their diet or anyone who just likes good food in general because regardless, all the recipes are super tasty. This video is sponsored by iHerb, an online marketplace that sells over 4,000 different vegan products and ships to over 160 different countries. I love iHerb because not only do they have all of my favorite healthy snacks, but they make it super easy to shop for a vegan, gluten-free, organic, or cruelty-free diet or lifestyle just with a simple click of one button after you search for your product. Now, before we get into these recipes, I do want to qualify this video by saying that 1, it is totally possible to get all of the protein you need on a vegan diet, and 2, society has led us to believe that we actually need a lot more protein to survive than we normally do, or like that we think we do. The American Dietetics Association has stated that we only need 0.36 grams of protein per pound of weight. So in an average individual, that's only between 45 to 55 grams of protein, which really isn't that much considering in the grand scheme of things. So if you're an athlete or you're very active or you're trying to build a lot of muscle, you might need a little bit more, but in general, 45 grams of protein for an average woman is like 15 grams per meal, which is totally attainable to do. However, all of these meals, if you follow them according to my portion sizes, it will give you around 96 grams of protein. So I think this would qualify as a high protein vegan meal prep. So enough with the chit chat, let's get on to the recipes. First, I'm going to show you how to make some berry overnight oats, and this recipe has 29 grams of protein per serving. So for this recipe, I'm using my favorite oats, which are these instant rolled oats from Bob's Red Mill. I got them on iHerb and I love them because they still have the texture of rolled oats, but they absorb liquid faster and get a little thicker. So we're going to need about half of a cup of those, and I'm using a leftover nut butter jar, but you can put it in a Tupperware or any container you have. Then we're also going to use this protein powder to give ourselves some extra protein. I also got this on iHerb. It is a vanilla flavor. They also have a chocolate one, and they're 24 grams of protein per serving, which is awesome. So we're just going to open this up and take a scoop of this. And the great thing about this protein powder too is that it already does have some sweetener to it, so we don't need to add any extra sweetener to our oats. So we're also going to add in 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. I'm using white chia seeds. You can also use black chia seeds. And then I also like to add in some cinnamon for some extra flavor. And then between 3/4 and 1 cup of non-dairy milk, according to how thick you would like your oats to be. Then you're just going to stir that up and let everything combine a little bit. And then I'm topping mine with some frozen berries. You can use any berries you'd like. I just got a blend from the grocery store and I used about a cup in total. Then just seal this up and you're good to go. And then just repeat this with all of your containers until you have enough breakfast to last the week, or however many you would like. They will totally last in the fridge for up to 5 days, so you can make them on Sunday or something and they'll last throughout the whole week. I also love overnight oats right now because as it's starting to get a little warmer outside, I don't feel too hot when I eat them for breakfast. But if you do prefer a warm breakfast, you can also just pop these in the microwave for a few seconds before you eat them just to warm them up. So now for lunch, we're going to be making some kale and quinoa stuffed peppers, and this recipe for 2 peppers has 28 grams of protein per serving. So to start out, we're going to core our peppers. I just wanted to show you guys how to do one. I like to cut pretty close to the top all the way around the pepper. Then I just pull that off, and then I cut the center of the pepper off, and I can just rip it out with my hand. And if there are any leftover white pieces in it, you just pull them out with your hand like I did there. And then I don't like to waste any food, so I diced up all of the tops of my peppers, and we're going to use those later in the recipe. But to cook our peppers, we're going to need a large glass dish or oven-safe dish, and we're going to pour about a cup of water in the bottom just so the peppers don't stick to it. And then we're going to put these in the oven for 15 minutes. And in the meantime, we're going to cook some quinoa. So I'm adding some white quinoa, you can use any color you'd like, with some water and some salsa for some flavor. I got this salsa on iHerb. It's one of my favorites. I love the combination of the jalapeño and cilantro, and it's not too spicy either. So once that comes to a boil, you're going to cover it and cook it according to the package instructions. And then to add some texture to the stuffed peppers, I'm making a carrot and walnut quote-unquote meat. So you're just going to add those to a food processor and process them until they form tiny chunks, kind of like the size of what a ground meat would be. And this just helps to add more texture to our peppers. So we're going to set those aside, and then we're going to start sauteing everything. So we're going to add some water or oil to a large pot, and then add in some red onion and some garlic and saute that until it is translucent. Then we're going to add in those diced pepper tops as well as the carrot and walnut meat mixture and some spices. All of these spices will be linked below in the full recipe. We're just going to add those to the pot and stir them a little bit just to toast them. And then afterwards we're going to add in some tempeh. And tempeh is a protein made from whole soybeans. It usually comes in a block. I just crumbled it up to, again, give it that more meaty texture. And now we're going to add in 2 cups of vegetable broth. This is the vegetable broth that I always have in my fridge. I also got it from iHerb, and I love it because it's a paste and you just mix it with water. So that way you don't have to keep on buying cartons of vegetable broth, and it lasts a really long time. So we're just going to stir this and bring it to a simmer. And then once the mixture is simmering, we're going to cook it down for a few minutes. And we do this because tempeh absorbs the most flavor when you steam it first and then saute it. So the simmering in the extra liquid sort of allows the tempeh to puff up, and then it cooks down and absorbs all of the flavors. So after that is cooked, we're going to add in our cooked quinoa, as well as about a cup of thinly sliced kale, and we're just going to stir everything together, and this forms our pepper mixture. I also added some extra salt to taste, stirred that in, and then now it's time to stuff our pepper. So they've been cooking in the oven for 15 minutes, and you're just going to divide all of the filling in the peppers evenly and then pop them back in the oven for a little bit longer, and they come out looking something like this. The tops should be browned and slightly crispy, and I love these because they are a great portable meal. I would recommend eating them with a fork and a knife just so you can chop up the pepper itself, but I think they're fun. I mean, everything is cuter when it comes in an edible bowl, let's be honest. So for lunch, I also decided to serve these with some fresh fruit and then a serving of my favorite crackers, which I got on iHerb. It's these Mary's Gone crackers. The original flavor is great, but I also love the pepper one. And voila! I will say that the full serving size for this recipe is 2 peppers, but my bento boxes were just tiny. But anyways, now we're going to move on to dinner and make some pea pesto pasta. And this recipe has 37 grams of protein per serving. First, we're going to toast some pine nuts by putting them in a saute pan and stirring them occasionally. And you just want to keep an eye on these. As you can see, they will slowly start to brown. And then once they get brown, you just want to remove them from the heat and set them aside. Then next we're going to toast some nutritional yeast using the same method. This toasts really quickly, so you just want to pay attention to it, but it really increases the flavor of it. Then we're just going to return the same pot back and put in some peas. You can use fresh peas or frozen peas, but we're just going to boil them in a little bit of water along with some cloves of garlic just to cook them down. And I'm adding the garlic in because we're going to use this in our pesto sauce, but I wanted a roasted garlic flavor, not a raw garlic flavor. So just boiling it for a little bit helps to give us that flavor without actually having to roast it. So most of our protein from this recipe is coming from this pasta. This is my absolute favorite pasta, Banza. I get it on iHerb. I love it. It's made from chickpeas and it has so much protein in it, and the ingredients are super simple as well, which I appreciate. So we're just going to add that to a pot. We're actually going to do 2 boxes of it because we are prepping for the entire week, and then we're just going to stir that and cook it according to the package instructions. While that's cooking, we can make our pesto by adding in about a cup of the cooked peas, about 2 cups of fresh basil leaves, those cooked cloves of garlic, some lemon zest, the juice of a lemon, the toasted nutritional yeast, most of the pine nuts. We are going to save a few for garnish. And then I'm also adding in some red chili flakes because I like things spicy, and some salt. Then we're just going to seal the lid on this and process this a bit in our food processor. And as you can see, it'll still be chunky, so you're going to add in water. I would suggest doing it in 2 tablespoon increments. And then you're just going to continue to process it until everything is still pretty thick, but more evenly incorporated. And you can just keep adding water according to your personal preference, but I like to keep mine pretty thick. It thins out when you mix it with the pasta anyways. Speaking of the pasta, once it is cooked, it's pretty dang easy. We're just going to add in the leftover peas and then our pesto sauce and stir everything together. And honestly, if you are doing this for meal prep, I would suggest stirring the sauce with your pasta to prevent the pasta from drying out. Or you can make a giant batch of the sauce in just half of the pasta and then recook the pasta later in the week, and that will also help prevent it from drying out. But I'm just using my bento box again and already portioning it out, but you could also just keep it in a larger Tupperware. But don't forget to top it with a few of those extra toasted pine nuts for some fun crunch. And that's it. I love this recipe. I think it's fresh and tasty, and I love how it's still packed with protein. So, you know, if you want to get #swole, you can. Or if you just want to eat tasty pasta, you can eat this too. And then I just wanted to say that what is life without dessert? So I got some of my favorite chocolate from iHerb. I love this brand because they stone grind their chocolate. It has a really nice crunchy texture to it. And I seriously haven't tried a flavor that I haven't liked. And I like that it's organic as well. So yeah. And there are 3 high protein vegan recipes that are perfect for meal prep. Let me know in the comments below which recipe was your favorite and which one you want to make first. And also don't forget to check out all of the recipes, which will be linked or written out in the description. If this is the first video of mine that you're seeing and you like what you see here, feel free to hit that little subscribe button right down there. I post 2 new videos every single week relating to vegan recipes, vegan meal prep, vlogs, what I eat in a day videos, etc. And I think that is it. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, whatever time of day it is for you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!